And welcome to the 4th of July edition of eroots video blog, the vlog. As my costumery would suggest, we've got a tie-in to Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers, and more specifically to Ben's passion for technology and self-improvement. We all know that Ben was a great inventor, giving the world creations such as the lightning rod, the Franklin stove, bifocals, of which I've got a pair. Thanks, Ben. However, what's slightly less known about Ben Franklin was his passion and dedication for, sort of systems and self-improvement. One of my favorite Franklin quotes is to be at war with your vices, at peace with your neighbors, and to let every year find you a better man. To that end, Franklin created a system where he had 13 virtues that he was working on in himself, things that he wanted to imbue and embody in himself. And every week he had this little chart, and every week he would have that virtue, and he'd give himself a mark if he had exhibited that virtue that week, and no mark if he didn't. So for example, temperance, which was one of his virtues, about which he said to eat not to dullness, drink not to elation. And if he had done that, he'd give himself a mark. If he failed to do that, he didn't get a mark. As Franklin was also quoted as saying, beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. I'm guessing the temperance column had a few empty marks in it over the years, which is one of the things I think so cool about Franklin. You get the sense that he didn't think himself to be a great man, quite the opposite. He saw himself to be a greatly flawed man. He was, however, in pursuit of becoming a better one. And I think that, more than any of his inventions and all those things, is equally as noble. This notion of self-improvement also ties into what our blog's about today. We've got two products that I want to take a look at, but they have to do with this idea of personal metrics, us tracking us, so that we can be better us's. The first one is a holdover from a previous blog that we did. It's an extension of the Fitbit fitness tracker that we talked about. What we didn't talk about, however, was the there it is, the Area Fitbit Fitness Scale. It's a digital scale like any other. It costs about $125. You can get it at Best Buy, Amazon, just about any place that's got technical stuff. But what it does, it's Wi-Fi enabled, so with a little bit of setup and configuration, every time you step on the scale, it automatically uploads your weight and BMI index directly to your Fitbit account, which is super cool. I've been using it since November. I got it in November of 2013. That combined with the Fitbit tracker. And not just because of these products, but their impact is difficult to deny. Lost about 30 pounds in that time. It's really interesting. The Fitbit suite of products and any of the fitness trackers or the personal metric devices out there, they take notions such as relatively frustrating, challenging, annoying notions such as eating right and exercising, and they really kind of make a game out of them. So I'm more active because I want to be healthier, sure, but I'm also more active because I want to get the points. I want my score to go up, which is a really interesting motivation to watch play out. The other thing that's really great, there's a lot of charting inside of the Fitbit profile where you can see just looking back over the weeks and months and like, oh gee, yeah, there's the holidays and here's when that thing happened that I was really upset at, whatever, just tracking over time. Again, available Best Buy, Amazon, pretty much anywhere. The fitness trackers, these start about $50, and again, the scale is about $125. The other product that I want to talk about is a service rather than an actual piece of hardware. It's called Rescue Time. This is tied into Franklin's sixth virtue, industry. And about industry, Franklin had this to say: lose no time, be always employed in something useful, cut off all unnecessary actions. Yeah, that's fine for the 18th century, Ben, but here in good old 21st century, you got this little thing called the internet. And it is chock full of just about everything that has to do with unnecessary actions. So, if you're anything like me, you find yourself wasting a little more time on things unproductive on the internet. What Rescue Time, as its name would suggest, is help you to rescue or recover some of that time. And it does this by, again, personal metrics, tracking yourself. Once you create an account and install it on your computer, it takes an inventory. After a couple days, it takes an inventory of all the stuff that you're doing. And then it will automatically assign values to some things, but then you have to go in and sort of pick and choose your levels of productivity for different activities. Microsoft Excel, for example, is very productive. Hulu.com, for example, is very distracting. But then it also sends you a weekly report that says, hey, you were very productive this week. You were up 4% in your productivity. It sounds silly, I know. But when I get an email that says I was 4.5% more productive this week than the week before, I like that. And it's motivation to keep doing more. Again, don't really know enough about the psychology of it to understand why it works. I can just simply tell you that for this Ben Franklin, it works. This whole sort of area of personal metrics, it's kind of a technical ecosystem that's kind of just in its nascent stages, but I love it, and I think there's a lot more to come. Right now, the Fitbit, it's kind of just a glorified pedometer. It can tell me how active I am, but it's not really doing much more than that. There's a lot coming down the pipe in the next couple years. I think this is going to be the next smartphone type thing where we're just going to see a lot of, particularly the wearable things. One big announcement or one big game changer in this space will likely be the announcement of the iWatch. They're waiting, they're taking their time, they're going to get it right, it's going to be impactful, it's probably going to be paradigm shifting, so super excited about that. So in summary, Ben Franklin was a super cool dude who enjoyed inventing stuff and worked really hard to be a better man, better person every day. While I can't say that Rescue Time and Fitbit have made me a better person, they have made me more intentional and aware of the choices I make, which for me has a lot to do with sort of self-improvement. So with that in mind, always be at war with your vices, at peace with your neighbors, and may every year find you a better man. Happy 4th of July!